Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? We are live on the StreamYard channel. If you don't know me, my name is Nolan. I'm the creative director at Think Media, and I really just want to dive right into it. So everybody watching, I see your comments. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're actually watching from, but we're literally just going to get right into how we get views at Think Media. This is the exact formula that we use to generate over 1 million views every single week and over 50 million views every single year. This is the formula that we use to come up with video ideas, to actually make our videos. And I just want to break it all down for you guys and tell you exactly what we're doing. And I think there's going to be a lot you can learn from this. And so our name that we have for this is called the Perfect Video Recipe, coined by Sean Cannell, who is the owner of Think Media. If you guys love Sean, let me know in the comments. They're actually having their baby, and so I'm excited for them, and we are going to pass on the perfect YouTube video recipe to the rest of the world right here. I'm excited to get right into this. So let's talk about the perfect video recipe. Again, it's the exact formula that we use to generate millions of views, and this is going to work on any YouTube channel, small channels, big channels. This is going to work for you guys. So the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, what metrics does the YouTube algorithm care about the most? Because obviously the YouTube algorithm, it might favor certain things, right? If someone's liking a video, or if they're watching a video and subscribing or commenting, those are all things that the algorithm might take into consideration to push it out to get more views. But what actually does the YouTube algorithm care about most? And that's what we have been finding out and experimenting with at Think Media. And so a lot of people will tell you it's click-through rate and average view duration. You probably already know this. You might have seen another YouTube video that says you need click-through rate, you need average view duration, and you'll get views on YouTube. That's kind of like the big theme of things, but a lot of people struggle with, well, how do I make that happen? And that's what the perfect video recipe is going to break down, is actually how to do these things to get views. And so a lot of people will tell you this. YouTube themselves, they make it very clear that these are the metrics that matter most. They want you to click on a video. They want you to watch the video. They want you to stay and then never leave. This is literally what YouTube wants you to do in a nutshell. And YouTube tells you this. I'll pull this up right here. You can see that on a latest video performance. When you go into the YouTube Studio Analytics, you can see some of these things that are getting pointed out. If you look at those arrows down below, we have impressions click-through rate. So this is how many times people are clicking on a video. And right now that video is a good example of a low click-through rate, low average view duration, and it's not performing well. It's performing 10 out of 10, which 10 out of 10 is not a good thing. 1 out of 10 in the YouTube Studio is a good thing. And so YouTube Studio is telling you these are the things that you want to pay attention to. And YouTube themselves actually said that you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing click-through rate and your video watch time. But this is where things get a little bit interesting, because you might not trust YouTube, right? You're like, is this really what they care about? Because I feel like these big YouTubers, they don't have the best thumbnails. They don't have the best videos. They're not as good as mine, but they're still getting millions of views. So I want you to look at this, because if you don't trust YouTube, this is going to be very interesting for you guys. This is Charles, and he's actually an ex-Google machine learning engineer, and he left Google, ex-Google, of course, and he's building something that is really, really cool in the YouTube and creator economy space. And I found this on his Twitter, and and basically what he found is what analytics are the best predictors of views on YouTube. So in this tweet, you can see that he analyzed over 31,000 YouTube video analytics to uncover the best predictors of views. And in this tweet thread, you can go ahead and follow him. Great guy to follow when it comes to this analytical stuff. But this is what he found, and this is really, really interesting. He found that the number one predictor of views on YouTube is a video with a higher average view duration times its click-through rate. So both of these together, when both of those are higher, this is the number one predictor of views on YouTube. So here in the tweet, he says average view duration multiplied by click-through rate is by far the top predictor of views, even long after a video is published, because there is a freshness factor to YouTube. So if you post a new video, that can get more traction. But he actually found that the number one thing to actually getting more views and getting more impressions in front of more people is not that. Even on old videos, if it's a high average view duration, if it's a high click-through rate, those videos are just going to keep generating more and more views. And this is exciting too for us who are making YouTube videos. And once you kind of figure out how to do this, your videos, even years down the line, they're going to keep generating revenue, keep generating more subscribers and more views. And that's kind of how we've been able to, at Think Media, get over 2 million subscribers, is because we have videos that are 3 years old, 4 years old, and they're still getting tons of views. They're still bringing in new subscribers to the channel. And it's because they have good click-through rates and average view duration. And so there's some more stuff in here though that I want to share with you guys, because if you take a look at this, there was one thing that he left out in his testing that he actually didn't test in there that we have found to be a major player when it comes to getting views on YouTube. And this wasn't part of his testing. And this is something I want to share with you guys. And when it comes to the perfect video recipe, there's actually 4 ingredients. And that missing thing that he didn't have in his testing, that is ingredient number 4. And so we're going to cover that. That's going to be coming up. We're going to get into all the ingredients that go into the perfect YouTube video recipe so that you can start getting views. So this is it, guys. We're going to jump right into it. Let me read some of these comments because we got some people tuning in. We got Johnny. What's going on? We have relaxing music. Might need to listen to some of that in the morning times, but we got people all over. Guys, welcome. This is super fun. I'm excited to just jump right into it. So it's really cool that you guys are here with us. And yeah, without further ado, let's keep going. So the perfect video recipe, the first thing that we're going to cover is the big idea. And this might matter most. Though I guess the statistics show us that all of it together matters the most. But the big idea is the first thing you want to focus on for sure, because if you miss this, everything else is going to fail. So then the second thing is the hook, and the hook is the first 30 seconds to a minute. It's how you open up your video. And then the content is like your video, your your video and the content you are producing in that video would be the content. And then number 4, you can make your guess if you think you know what it is, but we'll get to that and we're going to cover all of these. So first I want to share a little bit about myself and what filmmaking taught me about YouTube. And so for me, I love filmmaking. It's always been my passion since I was a kid. I was making YouTube videos, but I always wanted to make movies. And so a little bit about me is on August 21st of 2018, my wife and I, Madeline, we actually moved to Los Angeles, California. And let's pull this up like that. That is my beautiful wife, and she's pregnant now. We're having a baby, and the family is growing. I don't live in Los Angeles anymore. I'm in Arizona now. But yeah, in 2018, we moved to Los Angeles, and I was going there to work on movie sets. That was my goal. I was like, I want to be on a set, and I want to make movies. And stay with me if you're like just tuning in. This all comes back and makes a lot of sense for YouTube, but stay with me for a second. So before I actually left to California, a few days actually before we drove from Washington State, where we're from, to California, my dad gave me a really, really cool gift. I want to show you guys what this is. This is, tell me if you ever seen Star Wars. This is The Empire Strikes Back. And I don't even know how my dad got his hands on this, but this is a 4th draft sealed script from The Empire Strikes Back. And so I didn't know why it was a blue cover. I thought all scripts had white covers, but what you find out when you start working on movie sets is each draft is a different color so that they don't get them all mixed up. So they might have an orange, yellow, blue. And so 4th draft, blue right here. It's pretty cool. So my dad gives me this, and, you know, my parents have always encouraged me to chase after my dreams, my filmmaking dreams. And my dad loves Star Wars. Like, that's what got him into filmmaking and kind of got me into loving movies. And so I was like, that's awesome. And I remember looking at this one day and I was just like, I want to make my own movie script. I want to write my own movie script. I want to make my own movies. Like, that is what I want to do. So I took this with me to Los Angeles, and it was just kind of like an inspiration for me, because that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to create my own thing. And so what happened next was literally 2 days later after moving there, I had one person who actually worked on sets, and she called me, and we're literally unboxing our apartment. And I think it's like 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm unboxing stuff. And she says, hey, one of my production assistants fell through. Can you come to Los Angeles? And it was like in Hollywood, like downtown Hollywood. We were filming in this old hotel. And she was like, can you get here? And I was like, I'm on my way. And so I left. That was the first day of me being on a Hollywood set, the young, skinnier version in 2018. I found my way on the set, and I was very excited because it was just, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing at all, but I was there. I was ready to learn. And it was just such a cool moment for me. So then next month, was actually my first time working with Think Media. And at the same time, I'm doing contract work. I'm working as a production assistant on some television and movie sets. And then I'm also getting my foot in the door with kind of the YouTube world and with Think Media. And this was the first ever Growth Video Live. I'm there, I'm filming. And that was just, a couple weeks later, I'm there working with Think Media. And I was always obsessed with filmmaking and YouTube. Filmmaking for me was, and it still is, such a passion of mine, but I've always loved YouTube. And at the end of the day, I just like telling stories, and I like sharing my stories with people. I like making people laugh or learn something new, like what we're doing today. It's just one of my passions. And so what happened was, because I loved YouTube, but I also love filmmaking, I ended up reading this book, and this is going to absolutely unlock some major stuff for you guys when it comes to YouTube. This is called Save the Cat. It's by Blake Snyder. And I read this book, and this is actually a book on screenwriting. And so I read this book, and it really shifted my perspective, because at this time I was writing some scripts and stuff, but none of them are really that good. And so I was really wanting to learn how to write better scripts. And so what I found out in this book, in Save the Cat, is that producers, when you write a script, you want to send it to a producer, see if they can get the movie made. Well, I found out that producers won't even bother reading your script unless the log line intrigues them. And you're like, what's a log line, right? Kind of confusing. Well, the log line is simply, everyone's heard of a log line. It's the 1 or 2 sentence summary or description of a movie. In the comments, tell me what your favorite movie is. I'm really curious because, and it's such a hard question because I have so many favorite movies. I grew up loving Star Wars, but like at this point, there's so many movies I love. But maybe drop, doesn't have to be your favorite movie, but one of your favorite movies. Let me know in the comments down below. And when you pick up when you look at it on Netflix, I was gonna say when you pick up the DVD, but do people still buy DVDs? Forrest Gump, awesome. So we got favorite movie, Forrest Gump, fantastic film. There is a log line with every movie, and it kind of tells you can read what the movie is about. We have Mean Girls, Black Swan, Gone Girl. I have seen Mean Girls and Gone Girl. That's great. Haven't seen Black Swan though. Okay, we got another one here. Favorite movie is Point Break. The Ex-Presidents, have not seen that, but that's awesome. So everyone's got their favorite movie, and when you're deciding what movie to watch, you can read what it's about, right? And so the log line, that's exactly what it is. And so Blake Snyder in this book, he gives this story how these producers, they'll have these script writers and they'll come up to him and they'll say, hey, can you read my script? And they'll say, well, what is it about? What is your script about? And some of them like scratch their head. They don't really know what their script is about. They're not sure. It's hard for them to articulate it. And they won't even bother reading the script. And so what he tells these like young writers is you need to know what it's about and you need to write a log line. And this is going to help producers actually read your script so that they can see if it's amazing and make a movie out of it. And so I learned a few things. So we can see here in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, because, I had the script. We had to share this example. We can see right here exactly what their logline was. It says let's make this a little bit bigger here. It says, after the rebels are brutally overpowered by the Empire on the ice planet Hoth, Luke Skywalker begins Jedi training with Yoda. I was going to do a Yoda impersonation, but I shouldn't. While his friends... So he's training with Yoda while his friends are pursued across the galaxy by Darth Vader and bounty hunter Boba Fett. So that's a log line right there. That's an example of a log line. And this all ties to YouTube. Stick with me, okay? Because so Blake Snyder in the book, he tells screenwriters to not even bother writing a script unless you have a good log line. And for me, this was a game changer and it started to make sense. It was like, you want to think about the idea first before you even spend the time making the script and writing the script, because if it's not even interesting to explain to someone when someone says, what is it about? Then it's like, why would they even read the script? Why would they even watch the YouTube video? So this all started to make sense to me by reverse engineering, just by focusing in on the log line first. And if the log line is not good, don't even write it, So that's what I did. I wrote a log line, and I actually wrote quite a few log lines, and I just wanted to, I was writing all these scripts, and basically, they were maybe decent, but like when my friends would read them, it wasn't too exciting. And so I read this book, I started writing some log lines, and then I started pitching those to my friends. And so after I was running my movie idea and my log line by some of my friends, I picked the best one that I had. And it was one that I felt like I could make, with a small budget, and people got excited about it when I told them the log line. And let me know in the comments if I should read the log line. Should I read the log line of what it is? It's probably not that good, but I can still share it with you guys. And again, if you're tuning in, this all comes back to YouTube. So let's just do it. Let's read my log line. We're going to do it. So this was the log line I came up with that for the movie, for the script that I was going to make. A young photographer finds out that he has 30 days until he will undergo a surgery, making him completely blind. Him and his best friend embark on a journey to cross off a list of things to see before he doesn't get the chance to see them. So this was my log line. And when I would tell people about this idea, they're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a movie. That sounds like it would be fun to watch. And they were getting excited about it. And the cool thing was, finally, after writing like all these scripts, I finally had a script that my friends were excited to read, and that they were even wanting to help me make it. They were like, can I act in it? Can I shoot the movie? Can I do this and do that? And I felt like I found I found, so I was like, okay, there is this works in this sense. And so this directly correlates to YouTube. And so through all of this, I realized that the same rule applies to YouTube. And this rule is one of the biggest mistakes that I see YouTubers are making. And let me know in the comments when I read this if you're making this mistake. Here it is. The mistake is that they make a video before deciding the topic, the title, and the thumbnail. So Blake Snyder in the book is talking about make a logline first. What is it about? On YouTube, we need to do the same thing and start to think through the title, the topic, and the thumbnail, because if that's not even interesting to the audience, then why would they click on that video and why would they watch that video? Okay, so this all started to make sense for me. Here we just see a ton of scripts, and you might be a YouTuber, and these scripts might represent a YouTube video, and you've posted tons of videos, and they're just stacking up, and you got a stack of videos, and they're also stacked up with a bunch of other YouTubers' videos that are not getting views. The scripts aren't getting read. What I'm trying to say is these YouTube videos aren't getting views. So you need to ask yourself, why are these not getting views? And when it comes down to it, you don't want to spend all the time making a YouTube video just for it to end up in a pile stacked with all the other YouTube videos that don't get views. You don't want to end up just in the back shelf. You're spending time and effort and energy on this YouTube video. You want it to actually go out and you want it to succeed so that all the time kind of was worth it. You know what I mean? And so that's what we've been trying to figure out at Think Media is how can we, predict a video on how many views it's going to get even before we make it, before we write the script, before we shoot it and edit it. And that's exactly kind of what we started doing. And it was based on this theory of like, don't even write the script until you have a good log line. And so if you want your videos to get seen and you want people to go up and click on your thumbnail and to check it out, it all starts with the big idea. And that's ingredient number one to the perfect video recipe is the big idea. It has to be a big idea. And let's dissect really exactly what that means. So it's the topic, it's the title, and the thumbnail. That is the big idea. That is the first ingredient. The thing you actually need to focus on first before you get to the other ingredients, because there is an order to this recipe and it starts with ingredient number one, the big idea. So what is the topic of my video? Maybe write this down and start to think about this for the next video you upload if you aren't doing this already. And a lot of YouTubers that I talk to aren't doing this already. They're not thinking through and even kind of vetting if it's a good idea that it's worth making. So what is the topic of my video? Write that down. What is the title and what is the thumbnail? Now, I know for a lot of you, you maybe feel like you can't make the thumbnail before the video. And for some of you, that might be the case. If you're filming something that has to happen in the moment, you're documenting something, well, then you can at least think it through so that when you are shooting, you can get the right shot. And that's what I want you guys to do is at least think through what would the thumbnail look like and what would the title be. And then what is the topic of this video? And this is going to help you pass basically the first ingredient. So is the topic and title of my video interesting to the audience? And we're comparing it to movies, right? Is this people like the log line of Spider-Man Homecoming or the movie poster? Those things need to be interesting because no one's going to watch the movie. It's kind of like, a lot of people judge a book by its cover. That's really how it is on YouTube. People are judging your video by its thumbnail and title. And so ask yourself, is it interesting not to you, but to the audience? It's another big mistake. It can't just be interesting to you because we're biased. We have our own biases, but the audience you're reaching after, is it actually interesting to them? And then here's the huge key. That second question, is it a topic that is proven to be interesting to my audience? And the key word there is proven, because if it's worked before, it shows that there's something there when it comes to it being interesting to that audience. So the big idea, you want a strong topic, title, and thumbnail. And that is going to lead to a good click-through rate. So throwing it back to the beginning when we talked about what does YouTube care about? Well, one of those things is, remember, it was click-through rate times average view duration. Now there's another thing that we're going to get to with ingredient number 4, but click-through rate. A lot of people just say you need to increase your click-through rate. You need to increase, your click-through rate. How you do that is by coming up with a big idea. And that includes the topic, that includes the title and the thumbnail. So before you create your next video, guys, please clarify those three things. If views, like we talked about, equal click-through rate and average view duration, then the click-through rate, like I said, is the big idea. The average view duration is going to be the hook and the content. And that's what we're going to get into now. So you need both of these things. And there's ingredient number 4 that you have to put on top. It's like the icing on the cake to just multiply everything. But you need to have this in order. So average view duration now. Okay, let's get someone to click on our video. How do we get someone to actually keep watching our video? Well, it's the hook and it's the content, and that's how you're going to get good average view duration. So ingredient number 2, if you're writing this stuff down, it's the hook. That's what you want to focus on first. Even before the content, you really want to focus on the hook, which is grabbing the viewer's attention in the first 30 seconds. Now, it could be 5 seconds, 10 seconds. There's no really time for it, but like as soon as they click on that video, you want to hook them in. And so I have some really powerful tips that I think are going to help level up how you start off your videos and help you actually have a better hook. And, you know, think about good versus bad clickbait. We might have all been clickbaited where you clicked on something and it wasn't what you thought it was. And so clickbait, the like definition is clickbait describes misleading internet content or shocking headline titles that aim to drive traffic to a website. So we're not looking for bad clickbait that is misleading. We want to actually validate it and have good clickbait where it's such a big idea, but when they click on it, we're actually delivering on what we're doing. So the goal is to bait the viewer and to clickbait them, you know, good clickbait, so that they actually click on the video and it's interesting. And then what you want to do is you want to actually deliver on that promise that you had. It's a bold, enticing promise, but then actually deliver. So we're going to get into some Q&A as well. And I want to dive into, I think what would be really awesome and really helpful for you guys is if when we get into the Q&A after this, maybe we talk about like a video you're thinking about making, and then we figure out how we can just absolutely level it up with maybe a better topic, title, and thumbnail. And then from there, once you figure out, let's say you have a fitness channel, or actually in a workshop we were doing last week, we were talking to Diana, who was she was asking us some questions about her YouTube channel, and she was doing some stuff with personal finance and with actually like cash stuffing envelopes. And so I told her, I said, I think you need a little bit of a bigger topic to start getting more reach and more views. And so the example I gave her was like, think of someone in your niche, and this is going to work for anybody, but think of someone in your niche that is like at the top of that topic. And so maybe for her, I was like, maybe it's Dave Ramsey, and he's you know, a lot of people know Dave Ramsey. They don't know Diana yet. So maybe you could make a video where it was like trying Dave Ramsey's money advice for 30 days. That's interesting. And it's utilizing Dave Ramsey, right? So that's ingredient number 1. So what you'd want to do then to promise and actually deliver on that is show Dave Ramsey. As soon as they click on the video, in that hook, in the first 30 seconds, you have to deliver on that promise. So you want to show an image of Dave Ramsey, and instantly you want to say, I'm trying out Dave Ramsey's, you know, money advice for 30 days. I'm going to be stuffing these envelopes with cash and not, you know, and that's how you should start your video, because if you clickbait them and Dave Ramsey's not in it at all, then that's just bad clickbait. And so I'm going to give some more examples too of how we're doing this at Think Media and how you can do this ethically as well. Let's take a look at this video, which is doing extremely well for us. It's a month old. It's got almost 150,000 views, and it's called Vlogging is Dead, the New Way to Grow Your YouTube Channel. Now, Casey Neistat, this is Casey Neistat. Again, like I said, who's the biggest person in the thing you're talking about? Casey Neistat's one of the biggest vloggers, right, of all time. And what's interesting is he's not in the title, but he's in the thumbnail. And so a lot of people say, well, that's clickbait. Is he in the video? Well, no, we're not actually interviewing him. The video was with me and Omar, but you can see in the video, we're talking about Casey Neistat. We say his name. We use him as an example, and that's how we're able to actually use him in the thumbnail. And so what you want to do too is in the hook, in the beginning of the video, you want to show Casey Neistat, or you want to, if you're like, I'm baking, let's use a baking example. If you were making a video and you're like, I'm going to bake a vegan cake, for Thanksgiving. Well, what you'd want to do is in the hook, in the first 30 seconds or whatever it is, you'd want to show that cake. You'd want to show you making it as you're saying that this is what I'm going to do. And then you can get into the content, but you need to hook in the viewer. So the first 30 seconds matters a lot, again, because YouTube literally tells us it does. So if you go into the engagement tab, you're going to see something like this, depending on how many videos you have posted. But you can see where this arrow is pointing. It says still watching at 30 seconds, and it gives you a percentage. So this top video, 74% of people are still watching at 30 seconds. That's above typical. It's saying it's an above typical intro. And that should tell you right there, if YouTube's telling me this information, I probably should look into this. This is the hook. The first 30 seconds matter because YouTube says, good job. People are still watching at 30 seconds and they're encouraging you to do this. So they're telling you the hook actually really matters. So here's some big mistakes that people make during the intro or the hook of their videos is they waste their time introducing themselves. Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Nolan Molt. And today we're going it's like people are just going to skip forward, and that actually hurts the average view duration. If people are skipping through your video, that hurts your average view duration. Okay. So you don't want to introduce yourself right away. You want to validate exactly what people were talking about or what they clicked on. You want to validate that right away, not, introducing yourself first. And then another thing I see is super long, these video bumpers and intro music sequences where it's maybe some B-roll with music. Sometimes it's just too long. And so you need to be thinking about the viewer and what are they expecting? When they click on your video, what do they want to see? And how can you tease that in the very beginning of the video rather than showing them a long video bumper intro of your logo or whatever it is? Another thing is not planning out your hook. So for me, when it comes to the videos I do at Think Media and a lot of the ones where it's like above typical, it's because I intentionally spent the time to script word for word my hook. I don't script my videos word for word. I just do bullet points. But when it comes to my hook, I script it word for word. And that's like a power tip. I should add that to the slide because scripting that hook is so important. And I've realized that when they click on the video, I need to somehow and I'm going to give you some really practical tips on how to power up your hook, but you need to focus on that. And so let's get into this next slide, which is exactly how to power up your hook. So what you can do, just some tips, you can write these down, screenshot it, do whatever, but is to open up with a qualifying question. So you can open up with a question and something I'm testing right now, and I don't have exact numbers, but I think it's going to do really, really well. I'm testing on a couple of videos for Think Media where I do my hook with a interesting statistic and it's a question. So I said, do you know like 5,400 whatever people get a silver play button every single year that didn't have one, like are getting new silver? Like I take a very interesting statistic and I make that a question. So what's something you could do that would just engage them right away? If you're asking someone a question, they're going to want to listen for it so that they can answer. And that's something you can do right when the video starts. You can start with a qualifying question. You also want to remind the viewer that they're in the right place. And we've seen many YouTubers do this. So the title of the video, as soon as the video starts, they almost read that title word for word. And it's just to reassure you that I'm not clickbaiting you. This is actually going to happen. So we take the money example with Dave Ramsey. You click on the video of Dave doing the Dave Ramsey money challenge. They click on it. The first thing you could say is, I am doing the Dave Ramsey money envelope cash stuffing challenge for the next 30 days. Instantly, you're validating that, hey, I'm not clickbaiting you. I'm actually going to do this. You clicked on the video. It's interesting. And I'm going to deliver on this promise. And so just reminding them. Now, the other thing is you want to give the viewer a reason to watch until the end. And so what is something that you can do or tease that's coming up later in the video? And I'll share a very practical way that you can do this, which kind of ties into the final three, which is show and tell. Showing them while you're talking about it. So as you're talking, using some B-roll, some footage, and then tease what's coming up. And I have a really cool example to show you guys. So in this video right here, again, it's doing really well for us, over 200,000 views. And in the first 10 seconds of this video, if you look at this, I have this iPad pulled up in it, and I say these are the 10 key elements that make a viral video, and all of them are blurred out. And I kind of make a joke of it, and I then say, I'm like, oh, you can't see these? Well, they're going to get revealed to you, but you have to understand this first. And then they slowly get revealed one by one, and then people can start to see them. But just by doing that, kind of tease them like, hey, these 10 elements are coming up. And so like, stay tuned, because you need to know all of these. And that is something that has worked really well for us. Now, here is a major hack where a lot of YouTubers end up failing. Is what happens next is they have the 10 key elements, and they're not interesting enough, or they're too long. And so people just want to go to number one, and then they want to skip forward to number 2 and 3. And it's almost like they just want the bullet points. They don't actually want to listen to what you have to say about it. And so that hurts retention, because people are skipping through. They want to, what's number 1? What's number 2, 3, 4? But they don't care about the explanation, or they don't care about anything else that's going on with those tips. And so that's why ingredient number 3, which is right here, is so important. And this is called the content, because you need your content to actually keep them intrigued, so they aren't skipping through the entire video, and you actually need to keep them watching. So ingredient number 3 is the content. Write that down. We have the first one, which is the big idea. We have ingredient number 2, which is the hook. Ingredient number 3 is the content. And this is to keep the viewer watching until the end of your video. And so let's keep going, because we're going to tie this all together. And this is a short ingredient, and this is going to bring everything together. So this is a great example right here. We have this video with Omar, and YouTube Studio tells us this. So this video is doing extremely well. It's doing way above average for us. And it says the views are 2.3 times higher than usual. More regular viewers are choosing to watch it. And then what's that saying next? They're watching it longer. Okay, so they're choosing to watch it, click-through rate, and they're watching it longer, average view duration. And so what does that do? Well, it literally says helping to increase its reach on YouTube recommendations. So YouTube's now recommending this on homepage. It's recommending it in suggested videos. And that is the goal, is that yes, we can rank some videos in search, but we want YouTube to do some work for us and start pushing it out to the right people. And so when it comes to getting them to watch it longer, you can't just focus on the first 30 seconds of the video, because really that's just a tool to keep them to watch longer through the content. So they go hand in hand. The hook, and that's why I said earlier, I said that the average view duration is a combination of the hook and the content. You need both of them, and that's why this is so important. And you can just see here, it actually works. When you get people to watch longer, it actually works. So looking into this more, I just scrolled down on the same video. It says, on average, regular viewers of your channel watch this video for 3 minutes and 32 seconds, and that's 7 seconds longer than usual. Okay, 7 seconds isn't even that much time. And so to me, I'm like, people are watching this video 7 seconds longer, and that's like and the click-through rate wasn't like crazy high. But because they're watching it just a little bit longer, if you could just get 7 seconds better in your videos, you can just get 1% better of a click-through rate, you're going to start seeing more views on YouTube. And this is when you use the perfect video recipe, you're actually able to increase these numbers, which then allows you to get views. And so 7 seconds, I just found that so interesting. I want to share that with you guys, because I'm like, only 7 seconds longer than usual. And I just found it so interesting that it let us know this is one of the reasons it's getting more views. And so here's what you guys can do to actually help get those extra 7 seconds of watch time on your videos. Number 1 is pacing. You need to double down on the value of your video. So if your video is entertainment, make it as entertaining as possible. If it's educational, focus on exactly what are they wanting to learn. Are they wanting to learn it fast? Do they want it very in depth? Do they think about the viewer, think about what they want, and you need to double down on exactly what that is. Also, don't over explain or repeat yourself You don't need to. And I'm not going to over explain this one. Luckily though, we're live right now, but luckily with editing, that's something I do all the time. I over explain, I repeat myself, but you can literally just cut it out, throw it in the garbage, play the video back. And if it still makes sense with those chunks cut out where you're repeating yourself, then like keep it, you're good to go. So don't do that. Just edit it out. That's what I have to do. Cause yeah, use visuals. So, whiteboards, graphics, screen recordings, graphs, all these things that are visual are going to help you actually, instead of just talking about something, if you can show something, even like with what I'm showing right now, this is through StreamYard. And we are on StreamYard right now. And I want to share with you guys actually this, which is you can get 14-day free trial of StreamYard by going to streamwiththink.com. And being able to just easily show slides to pop up text like this, I can hide it, pop it back up. I can add people to the stream. Being able to just show visual elements is key for getting more views on YouTube and helping them actually watch longer. And that's one of the reasons I love live streaming with StreamYard, because it's so easy to do it. I'm just back here hitting a few buttons. I can hide that. I can make myself full screen, or I can pull back up some of these elements. And that's a really easy way for you guys to do that. The other thing is video editing. So what you can do is utilize jump cuts, transitions, graphics, and B-roll is huge. And B-roll is just actually kind of showing footage as you're talking about stuffing those envelopes with cash. Get a shot. It can be on your phone. It doesn't even matter what you're shooting it on. Just show it. You want to show, not tell. And then lastly is to make it personal and to tell a story. And that's what I tried to do, with this video is or not with this live stream, is I try to make it personal and tell you guys a bit about myself. I moved to Los Angeles. I got married young, and I was, really passionate about filmmaking and YouTube. And I wanted to tell a story, because if I'm just giving you information, a lot of the times people can tune out. And if you make it personal, and if you can actually open up and tell a story around whatever you're trying to teach, or even with entertainment, whatever it is you're trying to do, being able to be a good storyteller is going to help you so much on YouTube. And just kind of studying how some of your favorite YouTubers, they're doing this. They're telling stories. And a lot of the times they're making it personal, and they're opening up on camera, and they're being vulnerable. And these are things that can really help people want to keep watching. And that's kind of what I was trying to do in this video, by just telling personal stories. So ingredient number 4, this is the transition. Okay, this is the one we were talking about. And the transition is to quickly lead the viewer to the next relevant and enticing video. So we talked about click-through rate, right? Average view duration. The other thing that a lot of people maybe don't focus as much as they should on is the average views per viewer. So when a viewer comes onto your channel, are they watching one video or are they watching a couple? And I mean, just by numbers, just by simple math, getting a viewer to watch one video is good, but getting them to watch 5 is way better. What if you got all your viewers to just binge watch your content? What kind of effect actually would that happen on your channel? It would be crazy, but a lot of people don't know how to do this correctly. And so you literally could double your views if you started implementing this transition method just by getting people to watch one more video and another video. This could be a game changer for a lot of you guys out there. And so here's some huge mistakes when it comes to actually getting people to, click on an end card to watch another video, is they spend too much time at the end of the video asking for the viewer to like and subscribe, and sending the viewer off platform is another thing. They say, hey, go, click on this link, and it sends to a blog article. And it's you want to get that person to go watch another video. And so that's just another mistake people do. Another one is not giving a clear and compelling call to action to another video. So you want to make it very clear and tell them why they should go watch this next video, and you need to do it quickly. So here's some YouTube end cards. And at the end of the video, you can see Sean on the left-hand side. He's saying, hey, if you want to see my live stream audio setup, you should click on the screen right here. Check that out. I'll see you guys in another video. It can be that simple, but what you can actually do is agitate another problem. If you want to live stream, but your audio has to be really good if you want to live stream so that people can listen in, you need to click on this video, because I show you exactly the audio setup. That's a better transition because you're agitating another problem, and that video needs to be a solution to that next problem. I got to write that down. I got to write that the end card should be a solution to a new problem that you tell them. That's what we're doing. And that's what we're seeing. Sometimes we'll see like 12%, click through rates on end cards, or even higher, 20%, because we're really saying this is what you need to watch next, and here's why. So here's some tips. Don't let the viewer know that you're ending the video. Don't say, this is the last, this is a live stream and I kind of broke my own rules, because there's 4 ingredients, but I'm not telling you when the last tip is. I'm not telling you if there's more mistakes. I'm not saying anything like that. But so you don't want to let them know when it's ending. You just kind of want it to end almost abruptly. Like they shouldn't even know it's ending. It should end and they're like, oh, I got to go watch that video. It should be like that bold. And then, like I said, agitate the next problem, and then give clear call to actions to click or tap the screen so they know exactly what they need to do. And we found, I shared that example of 2 videos here where we have watch another video. We've been experimenting with just 1 video. So it's even more simple for the person to just click on 1 video. And that has been performing better for us by just having 1 card, 1 video for them to click on. Don't add the little subscribe button. Don't add other little things. Make it so simple. It's 1 video. That's what they need to do next. Don't worry about the subscribe button. People will subscribe if they like your videos. Just get them to watch more of your videos. That's what you need to do. So it's click, watch, stay, never leave. That's what YouTube wants you to do. And so here's my challenge for you guys. I want you to use the perfect video recipe when you're outlining and recording your next video. Go through all those 4 things, figure out the big idea, then script it. And when you're shooting and when you're editing, be thinking about the hook, be thinking about the content and the transition. All this stuff you need to be thinking even before you shoot your video so that you can actually make it happen. And here's just a recap, which honestly, screenshot it. We covered all this, but perfect video recipe. It is the big idea, the hook, the content, and the transition. And that is the perfect video recipe. And so at this point, what I want to do is I want to answer some YouTube questions for these next 15 minutes. I hope that was helpful for you guys. That is the framework. We got a lot of questions already coming in that I can see that we're going to answer, but that is what we do at Think Media. Is we're trying to figure out how can we just get a little bit better each time? How can we get 7 seconds better each time? And so over time, just start with something. You could start with your hook and eventually start leveling up your content, and just focus kind of maybe on one thing at a time. And if you just focus on one thing, eventually you're gonna notice that your videos are so much better than a year ago or than 3 months ago. You're going to level up over time. So, all right, let's answer some YouTube questions. I'm excited for this, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We got some people in here. This is really cool that you guys are chilling with me. So let me get a little sip of water, and then we are going to answer this one. Ooh, this is a good question. Do I need a logline for my channel or each video? Both. A logline. Remember, think of it this way. Like when someone just says, what is it about? That's your logline. So my question for Yes, It's Me Tools, what is your channel about? Give me a logline for your channel. And that's your niche. That's niching down. That is very important. And then each video should have its own separate logline where you can explain what that video is about, and it falls under the category of your channel. If it doesn't fall under the category of your channel, then it's like, maybe this isn't for the viewers of my channel. And so you need a logline for both your channel and for each video. And you don't even necessarily have, you don't have to write it out, but just knowing if you just write out the topic and the title and thumbnail, that's your logline when it comes to YouTube. That is your logline. So great question. I love that. Would you need Dave Ramsey's permission first? That's a great question. So when it comes to thumbnails, let's talk about thumbnails first. So if you're going to use someone in a thumbnail, you can do this. You can use them in a thumbnail. We see it obviously all over YouTube. We see people being on thumbnails all the time. If you're going to use Dave Ramsey's, let's say you take his video. I'm no legal expert, so don't even listen to what I'm saying. But it has to fall under fair use. And so as long as you can transform, let's say in the past, we've used fair use, and even actually with Dave Ramsey in a video where I took his video and I kind of chopped it up and I was talking about it and I was talking about what he was doing. And you can still monetize those videos as long as you are transforming it and you're not just stealing his stuff and putting it on your channel. So you don't need Dave Ramsey's permission when it comes to that kind of stuff. But that's a great question. Robin says, do you think the shorts feed is not working like before? I feel like my shorts are not getting good views anymore. How about you? I upload a short every day. You know, what I've seen is, to be honest, like we had a couple shorts that went viral on Think Media, and it hasn't happened for a little while, but we also haven't tried that similar style. And so it's hard for me to even, you know, I'm like, we could go viral again. But so I don't want to say no, that it's like it's changed and you can't go viral. That's not the case. I know a lot of people who are doing well with shorts. I would say maybe when there's more competition, you know, as more people are posting YouTube shorts, you actually have to level up a little bit more as there's more competition. And so, Robin, what I would say is take the perfect video recipe and apply it to your shorts. So be thinking about all those ingredients and how you can implement that into a 1 minute or shorter video. And doing that and leveling up just the actual content is going to help you get more views on shorts. The short answer is they still work. You can still get great views with shorts. And I think, you know, shorts aren't going anywhere. They're implementing them into long form content. So it's easier for people to find a short and to click on the full video, which is really, really cool. And even Todd, who is, I forgot his exact title, works at YouTube, head of discovery, at YouTube, and the discovery, you know, algorithm and how recommendations works. He's tweeting about shorts saying, get on shorts now before it's like mainstream, and you don't sit here with your arms crossed wishing you would have put shorts. He's saying start doing shorts now. They're making some big steps to actually implement them into long form content. And so, Robin, keep doing it. Don't get discouraged and just focus on getting 1% better with each video. And if you're doing one short every day, I'd be interested to see if you did a short 3 times a week and you focused on making it really, really good. Or whatever it takes. Maybe it's one short a week and you made it really, really good rather than every day. I wonder if you would see some more traction from that. Give it time though. Of course, it's like shorts go viral like months down the line. Like you just never know. So give it time, but that's a great question. Victoria, my girl, Victoria is our friend at Think Media who works with Think Media. She is on the Think Media staff. So shout out Victoria. She says, how would you recommend balancing a call to action to a link or freemium? That is a great question. Versus sending them to another video across your channel, and tips on how to make that call. This is such a good question because I know there's a lot of people using YouTube for business. They're using YouTube to send people to a link that is off of YouTube. Go check out my website. Go buy this. Go download this free, the freemium, whatever that freemium is. They want you to do this. So what I would say is if you want people to do that, do not do that at the end of your video, because the end of your video has to be the transition where they go watch another video. So ideally, midway through your video, there's some quick call to action, maybe text on screen, maybe, and you also say it. Maybe the video is even about that. Like, let's say I was talking about Save the Cat, and I'm the author and I want people to go buy the book. I would be talking about this book, and then halfway through the video, I'd be like, make sure you check out the link in the description because you can buy the book and I have a free resource for you guys there. Then I would keep going in the video. People might click off, go get the book, but then they come back and they're like in the middle of the video. I think they have a much more likely chance of wanting to finish that video. But if they're at the end of the video and they leave and then they come back, they're not going to want to watch the last little bit. They're not going to want to watch another video. Potentially they're going to maybe choose another video. So that's the strategy that I would take, is doing call to actions for that stuff. Have all those links in the description. You can even pin the comment to help get more traffic to that. But I would leave that end screen for a direct call to action still to another video on your channel. All right. How long should we keep videos at? It matters. You want to make it as short as you can, in the sense that the answer that we always tell everybody is you want to make it as short as possible. It's such a hard question because the longer the video, it technically can be better for your channel if you have like a 2-minute long video that is really engaging. But then let's say you have an 8-minute video that's really engaging. YouTube's going to push out the 8-minute video that's more engaging because people are spending more time on that video. And so even though you might want to increase the length, if the video is like getting slowed down and the pacing's not right, and it's as good as it can be at 3 minutes. It's as short and compact as it can be at 3 minutes. That's the best length for that video versus trying to extend it to 8 minutes so you can like hit double ad revenue or whatever, and or try to hit the algorithm. Like that's not going to work. At the end of the day, it will find the best videos that is more not on the average view duration, but the average view percentage, if that matters. So usually for most people, they need to trim their videos down to actually make them better. And so that's why I'm saying, sometimes they need to be shorter. But yeah, it's going to depend for every single niche and every single video, but focus less on the length and focus more on the actual content, making that as good as possible. And usually it needs to be shorter to be better. So we got Buff Bass Outdoors. And you guys feel free. Let's do a speed round here. I'm going to go 10 minutes here. Speed round on these questions because you guys have a lot of good questions. This is awesome. So let's go speed round. So in the recent videos I've watched, I'm being told to get right to the meat of the video. Like Rob Wilson says, cut to the chase. Does that mean I should remove B-roll with music in the background? No, I don't think you need to remove B-roll with music unless that's all it is. If it's just B-roll of like you going out on the water and fishing with music over it, then yes, I would cut that out. A lot of people do these montages where it's footage and music and that's all it is. People, if it's not interesting, they're going to skip forward. Can you use that same footage and music maybe while you're talking and like you're cutting to the chase, but that B-roll is still overlaying to make it interesting and visual? That's exactly what you need to do is use that as B-roll as you're talking. So it's almost kind of like a voiceover. Oh, Star Wars nerd. Let me just one more time. I'm proud of it. Thank you, Dad. Empire Strikes Back. All right, we got the Aussie Star Wars nerd. What would be the best free thumbnail making software? I would say Canva. Next question. What do you feel is better? Short description or filling up the description box with lots of details, tags, etc. Which would be better? Though I don't think either are super important and definitely not as important as like following the 4 ingredients, the perfect video recipe. That's going to be like we said, based on the stats, the #1 predictor of views. So it doesn't really matter as much. I would say whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter. It could be a short description, but at the end of the day, like in our descriptions at Think Media, we have a ton of stuff in there. So people know if they want to work with us or if they want to download our free stuff or check out our free web class, all that stuff's in that description box. And so it's really up to you on how you want to do it. As far as that helping with views and, you're asking what is better. As long as it looks clean and there's a lot of stuff in there, adding little bullet points and whatnot, I think you're going to be set. How to put up the next video to watch at the end of your video, the transition video. It's a great question. Go on YouTube, type in Think Media end card, and I have a tutorial on how you can make an end card for free in Canva. And I also have a tutorial on how to actually upload your end card. So go to Think Media. You can use the search box on the channel or just go to YouTube, type in Think Media end card, and you'll see my face somewhere. Watch those videos. I'll show you exactly how to do it for free. All right. Sasha's Day says, should you make an updated channel trailer as your channel content changes? I think, yeah, I think you might as well. I think that's something that we need to do at Think Media, update ours, eventually. But yeah, I think as your content changes, take it down if it's like not the right thing anymore, if you shift it a lot. And then, should you make a new one? Yeah, you could definitely update that as you go on. I think that's a good thing to do. That would yeah, worth it, I think. I have been trying to film a video for over a week. I still don't get how to position my camera. How did you set your camera distance in this live stream to get a nice headshot. So right now, my camera actually is just above my monitor. So camera's here, monitor's right below it. And ideally, you just want to eye level. And so if I'm sitting right here, like eye level, my camera is basically eye level. And then you just don't want too much headroom. So if you're like in the middle of the frame like this, tilt your camera down. You know, you want to be sitting where your head's at the top of the frame, and that's how you want to place your camera. And as far as distance go, it depends on your lens. Mine's literally probably 3 feet away, you know, an arm's length away, but it's a full frame camera, 28 millimeters. You might not know what any of that means, but yeah, 5 minutes. Let's hit this speed round. We got more questions coming in. I love it. Is making Mario videos, is that a good niche? I think, yeah. I think you might even, it depends on the type of videos. You can always even go deeper than that. I think you could do like Super Mario, or you could do like Mario Kart, or maybe it's like history of Mario. I don't know what your channel's about, but I think you could actually, that is a good niche. You might be able to find more success in a smaller niche first, and then start expanding over time and go deeper on videos directly on, you know, just Mario Kart, you know, for an example. Do hashtags in descriptions really do anything, and how do they work? Hashtags, they do stuff. So they don't, it's not that they don't do anything, but basically they're not, I don't think they're used a lot by many YouTube users. I don't use them. A lot of my friends don't use them, but when you use them in the description, 3 of them will populate just underneath the YouTube video, and you can click on those and see all the videos that have that same hashtag. So very similar to other social media platforms. When it comes to ranking videos, I think it can play a factor for YouTube to kind of know what the video is about, but it doesn't hold major weight when it comes to actually like ranking in search, which is what people use it for. And we use it for that too, as well, you know? And so that's, yeah, they work, like that's how they work, but maybe not super important to be using hashtags. How do you stop the drop off in a video after you list the best or last item in a top 10 video? This is a great question. In my analytics, it shows that the audience drops off after you mention the last item. And that makes sense, right? Hey, here is the last tip. People want to go. You need to find a way to keep them. The whole point is to keep them till the end. And if you're realizing that that's the end, what you need to do is tease that let's use a top 10 example. So it's an item. Let's just say it's top 10 t-shirts. That 10th t-shirt, you should be talking about it, kind of teasing it. And then right when you say it and show it, that should be the end of the video. And you should instantly be like, if you guys love this, you probably would love these 10 shorts to go with these top 10 shirts. So click on the video here. Like, it needs to end abruptly. Unless you can find a way to somehow, but there's a bonus, you know, I don't know, but I would say that's awesome that you're seeing that in analytics. Find a way to end it as quickly as you can. All right, let's see what we're going to answer next with our final few questions. Let's see. I could answer this quickly. Do you think they'll ever count shorts as watch hours for monetization? I could see this potentially happening, and maybe they find a number that works with shorts that would work for monetization. I think they're going to be considering, I think shorts are going to evolve when it comes to monetization and how all that works. So I think they'll figure that out. And I think eventually over the next few years, they're going to find maybe a way for that to be a reality, to get monetized just through shorts. Logline, tagline, same or different? I think tagline, you know, I'm not even 100% sure on the tagline. I think the tagline would be like, I might be wrong here, but Star Wars, like, may the force be with you, is like the tagline. So I think that is the difference, is like the logline explains it, whereas a tagline could be something more generic, but different, I think. Do you have a video about how to put up at the end of your video the next video to watch? Yes. And we talked about that. So that is over on the Think Media YouTube channel. You guys, there's tons of tutorials and videos there. If you don't know how to do something, want to figure out how to make an end card, or you want to figure out all the stuff, head over to Think Media's YouTube channel and you can check a lot of that stuff out there. Doesn't matter how many subscribers you have to start live streaming to get viewers in. I believe there is a certain number to get live streaming. You have to like do the when you set up your channel, get the double authentication and all that kind of stuff. But I can't remember the exact number. But if you Google that, yeah, it um to actually start live streaming, you do, I think, need a certain amount of subscribers. Is an iPhone 13 Pro and Hero 10 GoPro enough to start a YouTube channel? 100%. Yes. Okay. A lot of people, Ryan Trahan, he has a nice Sony camera, but he shoots a lot on his phone as well. And he's very successful on YouTube. And there's a lot of people who start with their iPhone and they or even still use their iPhone. And we have tutorials on our YouTube channel, how to get the best settings, how to shoot with your phone, all that kind of stuff. For a lot of people, it's better than buying like a $500 camera. The iPhone like 13 Pro might be just better looking, you know? So it just comes down to good lighting. And so definitely use the iPhone, and the GoPro is a great camera as well. I like the iPhone better. All right. We got a couple more questions right here, which is, do you think the shorts description box should be filled to the max like the long description boxes? I don't think I don't know if I have enough data to really tell, but I would say it doesn't matter as much. From what I've seen, we've posted shorts that go viral with no thumbnails, with very little descriptions or a big description. So I don't think it matters if you're maxing out the description or not, or just doing a short one. All right. And again, the Star Wars obsession. We have, how many monitors do you have for my setup? So I actually have one monitor and then my laptop, which is kind of like my second monitor. But we have a ton of desk setup videos. Kyle uses 2 monitors, which is something I'd want to do eventually. But yeah, go to Think Media, look up all the desk setups. Our guys have some really cool desk setups on the channel. And so, yeah. All right. So we have answered the questions. Let me go back here. You guys, let me pull that down because we're not commenting more. I want to thank you guys for showing up. This has been really, really fun for me. I love talking about YouTube with you guys. Next Wednesday, Omar is going to be going live here on the StreamYard YouTube channel. He's going to be talking. You guys see what I'm doing here? I'm doing a little transition. But no, he's going to be here next Wednesday going live. If you guys want to tune in, Omar is part of our he's a content creator at Think Media. He is extremely talented, and he's going to show you how you can use StreamYard, how you can use podcasting, and how you can use like video formats to take one video and one podcast, a 1 hour long, in 1 hour, you're going to be able to create like 10 different YouTube videos. And so this is something we're doing at Think Media. It's something we've seen a lot of people find success with on YouTube. And it's a really cool strategy that you do not want to miss out. And so thank you guys for tuning in live. And if you're watching this replay, then you can click on the end screen and go watch that one once it's out. And thanks, guys. So much fun. I'll see you in the next one. In 2 weeks, I'll be back. Peace.